Hi, everyone. My name is Bren Harris. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Bren, and I am at Win with Bren on Instagram, Bren Harris on Facebook and YouTube. We're streaming across multiple platforms. I founded Warrior Moms by Bren when my son was medically injured at 22 months of age. I was a new mom. I was devastated. I had no clue how to climb out of that pit. We have walked through hell. Now we walk through it like we own the place, and you can too. Why do I say that? Because your story matters. Hear me. Your story matters. No matter what's going on in your life, someone has been through the exact same event. Now, it may not be as dramatic as taking your child to the doctor thinking you're doing the right thing and they're just a tiny little baby and they end up medically injured. It may be a chronic illness, or you're caring for an aging parent. We are facing all kinds of pressure in our lives. And hey, good to see you. Let us know in the chat where you're chiming in from. And if you're watching this or listening to this on the replay, I do some American Sign Language. That's our workaround so that we can learn new words at our house. Now, we are 10 years down the road from that event. And we know that prayer works, and that just because someone's wearing a white coat and they're considered an expert by our culture doesn't mean they have all the answers. Our favorite saying is, who says? What's the workaround? And right now we're talking part one. Hey, good to see you guys. We got Florida in the house, Georgia in the house. Oh, Illinois in the house. Good to see you guys. We're talking about getting ready for school. Now, this is beyond school supplies and school shopping and all those normal things we think about. We're talking about prayer and planning, make a plan, and about connection and safety. Now, for those of you who have children that don't fit into the nice little bell curve in education, you know what I'm talking about. We have IEPs and ILPs and 504s and all this stuff. And we have absolute accommodations that are paid for by federal funding. And we are finding that we don't take no for an answer. And that's what Warrior Moms is all about. We are a voice for the voiceless. My son is now a teenager diagnosed on the autism spectrum. We do not have autism. We have a diagnosis. And his primary challenge is a speech delay. So we believe that when the body moves, the mind grooves. So all the way to school, we're doing affirmations. I am enough. I am smart. I use all my words wisely. And we have a routine and a plan. Now this year, I'm going to unzip my heart a little bit. This is hard to talk about. We found that we were not thriving in the setting that we were in. So we do not do traditional brick and mortar 9 to 5, 9 to 4 schooling. We do a public charter school. And it feels kind of private because it's more one-on-one. Hey guys, good to see you. And again, I do American Sign Language as a workaround. Great to see you guys. I'm glad you're here. I find that I learn that way also. When I'm moving, I'm walking, I'm studying for an exam or learning another platform or new software. If I'm walking and studying at the same time, I learn faster. Now, our first point tonight is prayer, and this is kind of obvious. And the reason I'm starting here is
I have pillars for the year, and faith, purpose, and health are my top 3 pillars. And that can be how you define it. I'm not here to push my beliefs on anyone. I know what works for me. And the sign for prayer is pretty obvious, just like this. And we have prayer, and prayer for this communication is, for the purpose of this chat, is communication with a higher power. And I found myself faced with a teacher we loved, but because my son was getting big, he's already 6'1", and because he's changing so rapidly, that environment was not the best situation for him. And he started showing some more aggression. And I prayed all summer, and I enlisted my prayer warriors, and we covered all of this in prayer, and we were assigned a different teacher without being told. So Mama Bear, eat Mama Grizzly, I think it's from the movie, the cartoon Brave. I mean, I'm like, what? And I had to back up, shut up, pray up, and decide, hey, if I am walking my talk, if I am walking my purpose, if I am championing my calling and being a voice for the voiceless, for a 20,000 strong movement in half a dozen countries, I need to be the same personally as I am professionally. And if you knocked on my door right now, you would see me in my little office with all my little ring lights. And I am here to be a voice for the voiceless, not just for my own child. And I had a lot of prayer and communication with the higher power this summer. We covered it in prayer. And it's so hard when we like an educator, which is unusual in our journey, that we just realize that this is our time and this is our season. Now it's time to pivot. And that's okay. Hey guys, if you're getting value, let us know in the chat. Nettie, good to see you. And let us know in the chat, and let us know where you're chiming in from. Also, we have a couple of late arrivals. I'm so glad you're here. And we are here to say that we don't have all the answers, but we know who does. All right. So work with me here. And I even enlisted my son's help. Now, he is not a neurotypical 16-year-old. So I explained this very simply. Hey, bud, I think we need to do a pivot, and let's pray. Let's pray for our new teacher that's coming to us. And it has been a real journey. Now, the latest ranking in education, our state's pretty much dead last. And we are finding that we moved to this specific town in our state because it was highly ranked school system, not if your child is outside that educational bell curve. Now, a lot of people believe that there's stigma behind IEPs and ILPs and 504s. No, this is there is money there from the federal government, is there to help children learn and help students learn no matter where they are in their journey, and to make those accommodations. Oh, Florida in the house. I hope you're safe from the hurricane. And we are here to say that we don't have all the answers, and it's a really hard decision, but I will fight for my child. We will do things for our children we will not do for ourselves. Do I have any mama bears in the house? I mean, I will fight to the death for my son when I probably won't be that loud or that vocal for myself. Now, remember, we have 4 points. This is our back to school guide. And I know this is a little different, so hang with me. We have prayer, and then we make a plan. And plan is pretty easy because you're going to go like this. Plan. Isn't that easy? I love that because we can make a plan. We can have prayer, and then we can make a plan. Now, I am a planner geek, especially since becoming a mom. And I have every planner I think ever introduced to the market. I have an entire shelf in my office dedicated to planners. And I take little bits from each system so that I can have a master plan, both personally and professionally, because we live and die by a schedule here. If you've met one child on the autism spectrum, you've met one child on the autism spectrum. We do not do let's wing it. We do structure, we do schedule, and if we say we're going to do something, we do it. And it doesn't matter if I feel like doing it. I committed to my son to do an outing, and then I don't feel like it because it's 100 degrees. Well, suck it up because we're doing it anyway. And we have structure, we have a system in place. And planning for this purpose is called deciding in advance what to do and how to do it. I'm pretty visual, so is my son. And so that works out really well. We have a calendar in the kitchen, we check things off, we have a visual schedule. We talk about these things and we say, this is how we get better. I'm a huge fan, structure, yes. I'm a huge fan of having peace of mind. Hey, icons, good to see you. And we have a plan so that we know these plans are not just in one place in our home. They're in my office. They're on my dashboard in my vehicle because it's a mobile office, and my son is with me all the time. And we have one in the kitchen. We also have one in the back room where we do the laundry, and it just reminds me of things I need to get to choose to follow up on. And it's so important to understand success does not happen in a vacuum. And the same principles we talk about as entrepreneurs and mompreneurs and warrior moms, this applies to the education process in the back to school, because this applies to you as well. Now, I don't know about you. If you've had a wonderful summer and you're sad to see your kids go back to school, bravo. That is not me. I am here to say, let's get back into a routine. And we know that when the structure and routines and rituals. Yeah, I think the dog whisperer calls it boundaries, rules, and regulations. And I love that because we have 2 autism therapy dogs in our house. And we notice when we're doing training every day, they're happier and less anxious. The third point is connection. Now, for the point of this, I'm going to say feeling valued, seen, and heard. Now, as a warrior mom, a lot of feedback I get from other moms of special needs children and school-age children is that they don't feel seen or heard. They feel burned out, ignored, and overwhelmed. And we're here to say, let's connect. Let's feel valued, seen, and heard, and be that support for each other. And I know school has started. Oh, yeah, school starts soon for you guys, the 12th and the 19th. Yeah, we're the 15th of this month. And I know that schools in Georgia and Florida have already started, as well as in California. So I'm not used to school starting this early, but I love it because it's time. And then the last one is safety. Now, if you know anyone, like, we are always talking about our story, and people routinely come up to me and say, well, my cousin's brother has a friend that has a child on the autism spectrum. And I'm like, great, because it's a community. And for children that are nonverbal, this is a really big deal because we've had some instances where it has not been safe. And it was a really highly respected program or school or clinic. And we're going, no way. I don't know what has happened, but it has changed. And just because one person tells you it's safe doesn't mean that's going to be your experience. Now, I am not much for drama. I will get my facts. I will show up prepared, and I will make sure that my son is protected from harm. Now, if you live in the great state of Texas, it is a law that you can request in writing to have video and audio in the special education classroom, and the school district only has a set number of days to respond to that, and it is their burden of proof to make that happen. So please look that up and make sure we're keeping our super kids safe. I am here to spread the word and to let everyone know that you have options. Just because a teacher tells you, we don't do that here. Well, the law says you do, and here it is. Please read it, and then work up the food chain, because the frontline people are all typically doing what has been told from the head office, even in the education space. And we need to say, we're going to handle this with prayer. Here's our sign for prayer. And then we're going to make a plan, which is just like this plan. And then we're going to have connection. And I love this one. It reminds me of my sorority. It's their sign. Connection, connection. Do the letter F, hook them together, connection. And that's defined as feeling seen, valued, and heard. And then safety is a lot like baseball, safe. We have safe, protected from harm. Now, if your child is completely, honor student, neurotypical, completely verbal, this is less of a worry. Boys are diagnosed in 2024 on the autism spectrum, 1 in 36. Now, we won't get into the why or how. I'm just saying, if you know someone or someone someone you know knows someone on the autism spectrum, lift those mamas up in prayer, because typically I have been to hundreds of autism parent support meetings. I've met one dad in 10 years. So that's why I'm focusing on moms. Warrior moms. We are a voice for the voiceless. We do not take no for an answer. And we always ask, who says? What's the workaround? Just because someone at the school tells you it's this way doesn't mean it's so. And we don't need drama. We don't need hate. We're here to educate and to empower. We're doing that through prayer, planning, connection. I love that. Connection, like that. 2F. Yeah. The ASL, the letter F. We say French fry here. So connection and safety. And I pray that this school year is all that you hope it will be. And mom, take care of you. Take care of yourself and your mental health, because a rising tide lifts all boats. The healthier we are as warrior moms, the healthier everyone around us is. Remember, be authentic, legendary, and unapologetically you. Warriors unite.